very easy to put the book versus you moving out. This is the part.
Yes,
Better?
sir.
And ready? Ready, Chair? Can you hit the gavel?
The meeting of the license permit committee meeting will now officially start. My name is Robert Barnes. I'm the chair of the license and permit committee. I call this meeting to order. We have introductions.
Audrey DeJesus, committee member for license and permits.
Hi, good afternoon. Diana Leonard, Community Associate with Bronx Community Board 1.
Anthony Jordan, District Manager of the Board. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Just to remind you that our meeting is being broadcast live on our social media and YouTube channel. For folks, please make sure you speak clearly and concisely. And if you're speaking for the first time at this meeting, please make sure you say your first and last name for the record. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have the introduction?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Noel Santos. I'm the owner of the Lit Bar.
So on the agenda today, we have new business. We're looking at a liquor license, the renewal for the Lit Bar located at 131 Alexander Avenue.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, it's a renewal for license number 1309321 and located in the borough of the Bronx within the boundaries of the community board.
Thank you.
You can proceed. You can proceed in the presentation of your business.
A presentation.
Yes.
So my name is Noel Santos. I'm the owner of the Lit Bar, the only bookstore in the Bronx, sadly. We also feature a wine bar, which creates a nice little vibe for literary events, which are mostly like author events, spoken word poetry. Like it's a 90s R&B type of vibe. We are going to be 6 years old next month. So we've been at this for a while, and we've been great neighbors. The neighbors have been great to us. So we just, we are here renewing our liquor license for the fourth time now. And we just want to continue to make sure that the community board knows, what we're doing, how we're doing it, and how we could continue to be good neighbors. So I'm here to answer any questions.
Chairman, for the record, since it's a renewal and the business has been in operation for the period of time as the witness testified, it was exempt from providing letters of support and posting a signage in the business and was provided additional information for the record, including hours of operation. And according the district manager's understanding that there are no 911 or E1 complaints on the record for this business.
Well, that's the committee. Do you have any questions?
Have you seen any changes since you've been there in the past 6 years that concern you?
That concern me in terms of
The hanging out or changes of the population or the construction, anything?
no. I live in the same block, so I'm there 24/7. And no, fortunately, things have been pretty smooth. The Lit Bar closes relatively early in the day, so if anything is going on, we're packed up before any of that's happening.
Because I noticed that the Choco Bar is closed,
Yes.
so, which is sad because of the LGBTQ ownership in the neighborhood. And it just opened no more than 2 years ago, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking that. Okay.
Yes.
Other than that, I've been there. I enjoyed the vibe. You're very cordial. You are a great host.
Thank you.
So I welcome you again back.
Thank you.
Just a question. So you employ three employees,
Mhm.
one from the Harlem, two from the Miami, and 6 in the Bronx. Very community is great.
Yeah, it said specifically East Harlem on there, so
It's like
I just added it in there just so y'all know.
Bridge.
We're represented there. So yes, 2 from the Bronx and 1 from East Harlem.
and I see that you have the Fulham Gospel Mission,
Yes, across the street from us.
and I see the school address. Is that a school there? 132.
No, that's the address for the church.
Okay.
So, right. So this one is say that the address goes for the church is to make sure that we talked about the 500 feet rule for any houses of worship or schools. I had an opportunity to speak to the witness about the proprietor about the business and about the relationships that she and her business has established with the community. And I have an understanding that they are not in violation of the rule, have not been made aware by SLA that there are concerns about that violation because they've been in the same location without any changes to the establishment since they moved there. It, like she mentioned, it is the only literary professional business establishment that has had several um, events that has featured multiple authors on and has had any other activities that have not been concerning to the board and no complaints or anything on complaints at all. I just have one question, if okay, Chair.
Yes.
So 10 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, that maintains
So-
operations with a little change.
So those are not our current operating hours. Right now, we're open 2 to 7, Tuesday to Thursday, and 2 to 8 on Friday and Saturday. We're closed Sunday and Monday, but that's just our spring hours because this application I figured it covered a 2-year period. I just
Mhm.
wanted to allow for us to have like off-hour events and then also to address our spring hours, which is right around the corner. So I didn't want to do a switcheroo and like
Right, so this
Change up on the
yeah,
board
change
later.
it, and then so I'd rather just give you a window and then we operate within those hours.
Yeah, we need wiggle room.
Yeah.
I have one more question, if I may.
Yeah.
Do you know how long that church has been there across the street?
I don't know, but it was there before we were.
Okay.
Curious.
And there has been no noise complaints from any of the residents with that. Since it's located in a mixed-use building, commercial on the ground level and residential on top, there has been no complaints at all from the business. As you look at the menu, there is light, elegant wines and other refreshments that are brunch boards, popcorn and other things to go together with this. It's a place that I love to go buy my literary items myself if I can talk a little personal, but I never had a chance to go to the wine establishment, but I skipped to that I missed because then I have something I want to do soon.
Me
That
we definitely.
on the own. I wanted to say that also as I learned that there are opportunities of live music and DJing that happens there, and that this goes. I'm assuming that goes with your special events.
Yeah, so we don't do that regularly, but I just put anything that I would be open to just to be transparent with the board.
And I understand that also there is an economic development group of other businesses that are in the area that I know that Ms. Santos during her time there has been very active. So her work does not only contain to a business as a silo, but to ensuring that the economic development and growth and the safety of that community as a whole is important to the business, and that and refreshing to also know that she's, as I'd also known that she's been a resident of this community, so that anything that her business, whatever happens, it doesn't go lightly into the community because she has this, she experiences that, given that there's only 3 employees and that's not including myself. I mean,
It does include me.
it does include you. Okay, so then that is not felt amongst the it's definitely something that is
I am invested.
it makes you understand. I don't know. I mean, that is very community and always there and around. And her staff is always very pleasant when I had an opportunity to visit. I'm not sure it's the same staff, but when I had an opportunity to visit, and so and we have she has lent herself to the board to have a very passionate conversations around economic development in that area, and ensuring that and I have no doubts that understanding that she's a good neighbor. So I wanted to have a conversation about where do you think, and kind of where the one of the members were at around economic development engines that in the community, where can we advocate as board members to ensuring that economic development investments are made in businesses like yours and others, because as we unfortunately heard, I talked to Carlos about the closing of Charcoal Bar. I know he didn't go lightly about it. I understand that he experienced, along with some of the other business, some damage to, not even some, but I'm saying some, meaning, but repeated damage to his property, and which led to him having to make continuous investments to sustain it, and the concern about public safety in the area. I understand there was acts, and this is not related directly to your business, but I'm just going to ask this for your pick your brain, if I may, about public safety as it relates to the area. And I know that we there have been several of the neighbors and other folks who have taken seriously into concern to really the thoughtful planning and consideration, and appreciates any investment that has been made to drive business to the area. Because I know that your business was one of the first businesses before the continuous of housing was created in the area, took the risk to open early and really try to drive continued investment in that area, along with some of the other restaurants and stuff. What are some of the suggestions you think that the community board can do to make sure that we seriously have a conversation about long-term economic development and investment, not only in your area, but where you are on the Bruckner, but in different parts of our district? As we look at Port Morris, that has some businesses and restaurants and eatery spaces, and Mount Haven, who definitely can need more, and Melrose and other parts of the district. Any thoughts?
So I'm not sure with the community boards, like what parameters you guys work under and like, or like what budgets.
So we have,
Any-
to answer your question, and I'm sorry to cut you off, we have, under this district manager, have direct engagement to making recommendations to the borough president and to the mayor directly about making budgetary decisions and investments that need to happen, and ensuring that agencies respond with extreme investment in the area. We know that there's only one bid that's been established in this community board, unfortunately, and some people feel that bids are the answer. Some people feel merchant association organizes the answer. Maybe it's a longer meeting and it can be answered in this kind of venue. But I would love that we can be able to have under the community economic development about how we could have conversation about true investment to ensure that businesses. We don't hear more about businesses that are closing or struggling. Some people who have had businesses understand what it takes to open, to pay utilities, to meet payroll, to supplies, and as costs, real estate costs continue to rise, amongst other things. And I know that this is important to your business as an extra economic revenue, and that's how I'm using that avenue to have that conversation about ensuring that not only these type of investments, that this committee, as you look at licenses and permits and how we approve certain things, why it's important to do this work to ensure that businesses can have true economic development or revenue-driven opportunities for their businesses. I mean, so you get what I'm driving with this in some way, and whether or not you think this is it, we can actually come back and have a more thought-out conversation that respects your time. But I think that when I get the opportunity to have you at the table, I want to always be able to have those conversations. So I'm taking advantage, unfortunately. And if you want to reserve it, I understand.
Yeah, I'd like some time to think about that. You touched on the first thing that came to my mind was advocating for us to have a bid over there. Not just in terms of just economic growth, but the safety. So when I moved in, the only thing that existed on that block was the church and CT next door, which is now closed. But even after, through COVID and after COVID, we saw a lot more foot traffic in the area, and more foot traffic. It just felt more busy, and I'm just gonna assume that the correlation is not an accident. That the more people that are out, the less unsavory things are going on in the neighborhood because
Sure.
there's so many eyes and lights going on. And I will say between 2022 and increasingly through 2024 and this year, the neighborhood does feel quiet and eerie. So, and that's changed after COVID. So I can't just blame it on COVID. I'm not sure exactly what's at play. I'm not sure like what Choco Bar's specific situation is, but from what I've observed and the stories that I've heard, in the neighborhood, it's not unlike what's going on in the greater New York. These things I'm hearing about happening in Brooklyn and certain parts of Manhattan, so it's happening everywhere. But where we are, poverty is concentrated, and there's some things that we're going to see. Bail reform, we've seen that, you know, we've seen that legislation play out in,
Sure.
on the streets.
So I'm
So we could go deeper
right.
into
Yeah,
that.
I want to say
Time.
response another time because I want to respect that what we're here for today is to be able to hit it in permanent. But I want to say that while you this was you had a lot of you have a lot of a learning curve that you have, and that's why I respect you this to put your knowledge in your brain about this stuff because I think that we speak passionately about stuff, and I just want to say that to the committee because this needs broadly conversation about approving licenses, and then it's connected to how we develop housing, who moves into this housing, how that drives also into public safety and so many other issues. And then Ms. Santos's life experience, whether she planned on it or not, really drives home her giving a significant opinion about what that means. And as we look at two businesses that you talked about that closed, and they look like they both were driving well, right? And
the Lit Bar's been very fortunate, so we don't depend on foot traffic because we have other sales channels. So I would love to see a bid formed. I would love to see the community board maybe get in touch with the hospitality alliance to focus on the restaurants and the support that they need because they're just not as flexible as we are. But their health, the health of those restaurants surrounding us helps our business.
for sure.
So
Get a bite to eat and get a good read.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we saw that in action in 2020, 2021, and it's steadily declined on even with all the building going on around us and the residential units going on around us. So that would be my initial suggestion.
And I think that in the tell and I end with this and don't need to comment is that when we look at development that's happening, it's important to talk about how development should come as an added convenience to ensuring that they understand the fabric that's already in the neighborhood and have residents who move into that space who are using it as attaining the businesses that are in the neighborhood. Unfortunately, we find it that sometimes, and when we build different types of housing, people are driven to do a lot of those things that these businesses in the area provides outside of the district and in other neighborhoods, whether they're using online measures or they're using other ways to be able to do their shopping. So, for example, if no one knows when they're developing a 40-unit building that the bookstore is there, they're used to traveling outside and getting their literary needs met. They need to understand that investments are made, that they understand there's a business that's there, and that they should be, um, folks who are taking into those businesses because it comes with an added plus for businesses like Monsanto's and whoever takes up the chocolate spot space and the other space. So I just want to end with that, Chair, and I thank the witness for her testimony.
I just have a question then. So, I know we required some of the business to post the community board of the notice for the community.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right. So because of under the application, she's exempt. Yeah.
We don't have a guest for everybody. I'm so sorry. We don't have a guest.
Thank you. So after the this happens even in signing. It's cool. All right. Sorry. And that no, because his business she's exempt from the business is exempt from
Right.
having none of these signage or anything else with the full board will vote and offer the committee's recommendation at the full board meeting at the end of the month.
Do we require a president of the community board to So, I don't know.
She's a friend of the board. I don't know. You just have to let me
The
know.
public, I mean, you know, just to give us a little brief.
Is at the end of the month, your business will go up and a big
Yeah.
nice sign at the last Thursday of the month.
Promote your business, you know, to the full board.
So, I was exempt from, I came because this was the first time you guys put this in place, so I wanted to come face you guys, so yeah, sure.
That'd be great. You know, to let everybody know, you know, what you guys did, you know, what you do.
Yes.
There's some, you know, they can freaking your business. So introduce yourself, you know, to the ones that don't know.
Do you have any, one more, I guess another question, any expansion ideas or plans or there in the cards or visions or so on, or right? I mean, I'm putting the good
Right.
mojo.
Right
Ideas
now, my
expansion,
focus is on just
sustain.
sustaining and pouring back into the community that's poured into us all these years. It's a hard time. It's difficult, more difficult than ever, to be in business in New York City. So
Let me ask another question. I'm sorry. This is that given where society has now challenged literary businesses, removal of books from education institutions, libraries, and stuff like that, how has that, in your opinion, impacted your business?
So I'm fortunate that, well, that's one of the things, I have some New York privilege there. You know, having such a liberal political landscape here, you know, that hasn't affected us directly, but in the greater industry, it has impacted us because the less books by diverse authors that are being bought around the country, the less the industry is going to invest in those books, which increases my costs, makes it harder for you know, us to get authors to, especially to come to the Bronx. So when budgets decrease, the first thing that gets closed off is the Bronx. So my life does get a little harder, but I'm up for the challenge.
How are you connecting with schools?
How are we connecting with schools?
If at all, right?
So far, it's all been word of mouth, and that's been excellent. The Lit Bar is not a DOE vendor. That's a story for another day.
And they have alcohol in the premises.
Well, we do host schools, and there's alcohol at Applebee's, and you could take kids there. So we're not getting, the kids are not getting lit.
You walked into that with an argument. Sorry.
What can I say?
It's up to the chair, but I don't know if she's answering the question.
So that has been a challenge because we're not a DOE vendor, but it's intentional. It's a story for another day. But word of mouth and working with schools, and there are a lot of although the Lit Bar is the only brick and mortar bookstore in the Bronx, there are plenty of amazing literary organizations in the Bronx, like Bronxtown Books and Literary Freedom Project, Storyland that just opened.
Yeah.
So there are amazing Locked and Lit. There are amazing organizations that are doing work on the ground, even though they don't have walls, like the Lit Bar does. They are meeting the school, going into the schools, and providing those gaps that the Lit Bar can't offer with just one brick and mortar.
We've been joined by the community board member. Can you state your name?
Argelia Ortiz. I'm a community board member, also sergeant of arms here.
Wait.
May I
Yes.
may I have permission
Yes.
to really commentary question? The Lit Bar, I was there in the opening some years ago. It is really the only bookstore, literally speaking, that we have in the Bronx. It opened up right in my neighborhood. I have a place that sometimes I just want to go to a place and just sit down and read, especially when the libraries were closed. And we had, the Lit Bar was the only really literacy space that we had. I want to know, I know Barnes and Noble gets direct contracts from like publishing companies. Okay, I'm just trying to throw a sample out here. What would happen if the community as a whole starts to endorse some of those like publishing companies and gear them towards a place like the Lit Bar? I want to know how you feel about that, because if there's one place that I definitely want to see stay open, it's that Live Bar. You know, and I want to know what kind of enterprising guarantee can we get going with that?
So I came here thinking I was defending my liquor license, and y'all are all gonna make me cry today. Thank you so much for that. Any support rallying around the lit bar is so appreciated and so touching. I have to give some more thought into like the logistics of that. But overall, publishing has been wonderful to us. You mentioned Barnes and Noble; they have so much buying power that the bar is we're just not operating at that scale. Not yet. Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll be there. But
But Barnes and Noble let us down. They closed on us.
yes,
They
did.
closed on us. You know, I mean, we have one and they closed. So the way I see it, they let us down.
Yeah.
Okay? That doesn't mean to disturb you.
No,
Sorry
no,
about that,
no
but,
worries.
you know,
Real estate, I would say that is one tangible way that I do believe is in the Bronx community's power is to help us. The landlord that we have now has been an incredible partner since before we opened and to this day. I wish my relationship with my landlord on everybody else, but I have not been able to duplicate that. So I think that's a realistic and tangible way that the community can advocate for us is not asking the corporations for anything, but actually communities, the property owners who are here to offer us affordable space outside of Mount Haven. And even if it's a pop-up shop, so that's a way that the community can advocate for us is getting us into affordable spaces because market rate is
Square footage.
it's tough.
Do you have any LGBTQ plus books?
Yes, we have a
Remember that was a conversation.
We
You remember
have-
that conversation with me?
I don't, but
Wow.
we do have a whole section called queer and beer.
Okay, good.
And
You didn't have it when I went in.
yeah, no, since we've opened, it's changed names, but we've always had a queer section.
Okay, I'm happy.
Yep.
I'll be going there for my security board.
Yes, and we I'm very, very, very intentional about like not doing like gay or lesbian or LGBT community events in June. So sometimes people miss what we do because we're very intentional about making sure that it's happening January through December. So I intentionally don't isolate it to that month. So it falls under the radar sometimes. So I got to do a better job of putting the word out.
Well, I'm the chair committee for the LGBTQ for the board.
I didn't really know that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So,
Thank you, Mr.
just
Chair.
wanna call the roll.
Yes. Report, please. Okay. You can call a motion first and then call the roll.
A motion
Yeah, motion, whatever the motion for approval, whatever you want to do.
to call the roll.
Yeah, you have to call the motion first and then call the roll.
I call a motion for the roll,
For
I
approval.
second the motion, Orchard Jesus.
So is it for approval?
for approval.
For approval, yes, I approve.
okay, yes,
Yes. All right.
I vote yes.
All right. So again, a call for the roll for approval of license number 1309321, the Lit Bar located at 131 Alexander Avenue, Borough of the Bronx. Argelia Ortiz. How do you vote?
I vote yes.
Adria de Jesus. How do you
Yes.
vote? Chairman Robert Barnes. How do you
Yes.
vote? Motion 3-0. The motion is passed, Mr. Chairman. It will be forwarded to the full board for a vote. Congratulations.
No, I really want to endorse that place, and I think if there's one positive thing, maybe it's that one.
Is there any old business?
No.
Okay. A motion for adjournment.
I Orchard Jesus, motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This meeting adjourned.
I didn't mean to come late.
Why there?
I
You turned off the recording, so you want my real answer?